Welcome, Dark Warriors. This is Rumen. Welcome to part 2 of my ghost guide. In this part, I will be going over how to deal with the boss ghosts without using a silver bullet. This video is being demonstrated on hard mode, but the methods do work for every single difficulty. So there are a lot of good ways to deal with Cynthia without using a silver bullet. Luckily, she does not have much health compared to the other boss ghosts. The best way to deal with Cynthia would probably be to have your rusty axe on you, a holy candle, and Eileen's bag with you, and of course have the sword of obedience with you. Now, if you don't have a holy candle, you can just get one from that room right there. The developers put a holy candle in that room for a reason, so there's really no excuse for you to not have one at this current moment, and you can very easily use it to pin Cynthia. So as soon as the cutscene ends, just lay down a holy candle. Cynthia will be a lot slower, and then just start hitting Cynthia. There we go. And there you go. That is how you pin Cynthia without a silver bullet. And when you attack Cynthia, you're actually doing it with the intention of moving her towards the holy candle. You aren't doing it for the purpose of damage, you're doing it for the purpose of control. So I'm gonna demonstrate that one more time. So skip the cutscene. Lay down a holy candle. You wanna hit Cynthia, but you wanna make sure you're hitting her towards the holy candle, because she needs to be around that holy candle. Don't spam her with the pickaxe. That's not the point. Don't go crazy with pickaxe swings. I mean axe swings. You just want to make sure you're hitting her towards the holy candle. So yeah, don't go absolutely crazy with axe swings. You want to just make sure you're hitting her slowly and rhythmically so that she gets pushed towards that holy candle there, and the holy candle will defeat her for you. Now some of you are thinking, why should I use a sword of obedience on her when I can just disable her? Because last episode, I talked about how you could render ghosts harmless without using a sword of obedience, and you do that by making the ghost cry. Well, the reason why you want to use a sword of obedience on Cynthia is because she will always respawn with full health in that narrow train at the end. Okay, there we go. I just made Cynthia cry. And the developers totally did this on purpose. This is such a troll move from the developers. If you go to the basement, she will respawn with full health in the train. Because the devs knew that would be super annoying and awesome, so they did it. What the fuck? What? What was that? What was that? Was that Eileen's shadow? Huh. Okay, so this is a room that Cynthia is set to spawn in. This room right here. And according to the game logic, because I made her scream earlier, she should have basically no health upon her return in this room. But this room is different. As you can see, Cynthia is there, and she will always be there. And she has full health. So even though I made her cry, and she should be weak, this is an exception. So yes, pin Cynthia. Now for Jasper. I actually wouldn't recommend pinning Jasper. First of all, Jasper only appears in this section of Forest World and in one very large room in Building World. Every room Jasper appears in is large, and Jasper is very slow, and his aura is small. So he's really not much of a threat at all, besides the fact that he hits hard. But you should always keep your distance from him anyway. But if you do want to pin Jasper, this is what you should do. So you equip the Saint Medallion, you equip Eileen with the chain, got that rusty axe, and just position yourself behind Jasper so that Eileen is on the other side of Jasper, hitting him with the chain, and do this. Now, whatever you do, absolutely do not bother using a holy candle on Jasper. You always want to use a Saint Medallion to deal with him. In fact, they give you a Saint Medallion in the same room that Jasper spawns in for the first time. So if you don't have one, then quickly go and grab that. And there you go. That is Jasper. Eileen just sneezed. He is one of the hardest ghosts in the entire game to pin. He is arguably the hardest ghost in the game to pin. But yeah, that is how you pin him if you really want to pin him. Okay, now I'm going over how to make Jasper cry. Once again, last episode I mentioned 2 ways to get rid of ghosts. You can either make them cry, or you can pin them with a Sword of Obedience. Pinning them with a Sword of Obedience is basically a more effective way of making them cry. So when you make them cry, they will respawn, but they'll have less health. But if you pin them with a Sword of Obedience, they won't respawn at all. And Jasper is probably the hardest ghost in the game to make cry. You're bound to lose most, if not all, of a Saint Medallion if you try to make him cry. And Holy Candles are not very effective against Jasper, funnily enough. So if you want to make him cry, and maybe save yourself a Sword of Obedience for a better ghost. For the record, I don't even think you should bother with Jasper at all. I think you should just avoid him. Like, don't even bother making him cry, and don't even bother, you know, pinning him. But if you do want to make Jasper cry, for some reason, so he'll respawn with less health, then you can do this. Got a Saint Medallion, equip Eileen with a weapon. In case you don't have a Saint Medallion, you can, of course, go get the one in this room. So you want to fight him normally. Jasper is a very tough ghost, so he can, of course, take a little bit of time. Nope, he's not dead yet. Okay, so to pin Jasper, I mean to make him cry, you want to pin him, and then you want to take it out of him, and then you want to wait for him to get up. Okay, there. That's how you make Jasper cry, in case you want him to respawn with less health and save yourself a Sword of Obedience. But again, I don't think you should bother with Jasper at all. Okay, just don't even bother. Don't fight him or anything. Just avoid him. Trust me. And sometimes when you take the Sword of Obedience out of him, and you're waiting for him to get up so you can make him cry with the Saint Medallion, sometimes he'll just take forever to get up, and it can just be a waste of time. So really, don't bother with Jasper. Now for Andrew. There are 2 good ways to deal with Andrew without a silver bullet. One is if you have Eileen with you, and one is when you don't have Eileen with you. The method for when you don't have Eileen with you is the following. Equip a Saint Medallion. Enter the room where he spawns. Skip the cutscene. Go down this ladder. Go in here. Go into this room. And then pin him up against this wall. Try to get him down. There we go. He should be stun locked. He might damage you a little bit, but this method is better than other methods. There we go. There we go. Okay, so that is probably the best way to deal with Andrew when you don't have Eileen with you and you don't have a silver bullet on you. So there's that. Now, if you do have Eileen with you, the next best option is probably this, and it may seem a little counterintuitive. Don't equip Eileen with anything. Equip the Saint Medallion. Let's go. Okay, make your descent down to Andrew. Kill these white stools so Eileen does not get hit by them. Gotta get the best ending, of course. Okay, now you just want to wait until the Saint Medallion kills him. Don't attack him, it just complicates things. This can take patience, but trust me, this is just the best option. If you don't have a silver bullet, I mean, it's the best option. Patience is key. And his aura will not damage Eileen while you're wearing the Saint Medallion, so don't worry about Eileen taking damage. And there you have it. So there's a method for when you have Eileen with you. Now, Richard. Richard is pretty tricky. You basically just want to attack him how you would any other ghost and hope you get lucky. So equip that Saint Medallion and give Henry and Eileen weapons, and let's go. Richard teleports around a lot, but don't worry too much about it. Henry will always auto-lock onto whatever position Richard is at. So you can do a bunch of fully charged axe swings, and Henry will very likely hit him because Henry will auto-lock onto Richard. Richard can take a while to kill sometimes.
This place.
All right, there you go. That's how you pin Richard without using a silver bullet. Now, there is a very common issue that you may run into while trying to pin Richard. He might teleport away and disappear. This can lead to frustration, thinking to yourself, where'd he go? Why isn't he here? Why can't I pin him? And the answer to that is, it's just a thing that sometimes happens when trying to fight Richard, and it's unfortunate. He takes a lot of patience to pin, but there is a way that you can pin him without him teleporting away, but it's a little more counterintuitive, and I'm gonna show that off now. Here's how I pin him personally. So ignore that room. That room sucks. Well, you gotta wait for Eileen to come to you first. Don't bother pinning him in that room. It's futile. I mean, for me at least. Take the elevator all the way up. This way. Alright, Eileen will come with us eventually. Just be patient. Eileen is coming. There she is. Okay, give Eileen a weapon. Here's a health drink right there. You can pick it up if you want. Fight the sniffer dog so they are not running up those stairs with us. Thank you, Eileen. Okay, there you have it. And, oh my god, where'd the other one go? Oh my gosh. Whoa, look at that. Whoa, I've never seen that happen before. Whoa. That's crazy. Okay. I've literally never seen a sniffer dog run all the way up here by itself. Anyway, here's the best way that I personally have found to pin Richard. Alright, so here, if you don't want to deal with Andrew disappearing all the time and teleporting into places you can't even hit him, then you can come to this room. It's a little bit out of the way, but this room is tiny, and Richard has no room to get away from you.
I remember this place.
If you're really having a really hard time pinning Richard,
Ashfield,
and you can't seem to get him down, and he always seems to get away from you before you can pin him, then come to this room, because he is much easier to pin in this room. But it does take patience. It does take patience to pin him here, because he takes a while to appear. There we go. So yeah, this is a small room. Richard will not teleport onto upper paths that you can't even get to, so don't worry about it. This is definitely the best room to pin him, but it is a little bit out of the way. Oh, nope, he's still getting up again. There we go. All right, there you have it. Now for making Richard cry. Richard is a complicated one. I think he's going through therapy right now. He's prone to outbursts. You got to make sure you're not saying the wrong thing around him. But in all seriousness, Richard is interesting because what makes him cry is different than what makes other ghosts cry. In fact, he can't cry. I mean, technically he can't cry, but you can still defeat him in a manner in which he will act like a ghost who has cried. And to do this, you want to fight Richard normally, but you want to listen to a certain sound he will make. So I'm going to boost the volume a little bit, and I'm going to fight Richard normally. Okay, here's Richard. Now, there is one thing you want to make sure you do not do to Richard when trying to make him cry. And that is, you don't want to stomp him. Do not stomp Richard. And don't stab him with a sword of obedience either. Just let him get up normally each time. See, don't stomp him. Do not stomp him. He is perfectly pinnable right now, but do not stomp him. Did you hear that? When Richard makes that sound, you know he cried. I mean, it's not really a cry. It's not really the sound of him crying. It's actually the sound of you hitting him. But the sound of you hitting him will be different when you successfully made him cry. In fact, sometimes he won't even make any sound at all. Basically, when you see Richard fall on his back slowly, that's how you know you made him cry. So basically, even when you can kick him, and even when you can stab him with a sword of obedience, if you want to instead make him cry, just let him get up again normally and keep hitting him. So if I were to run back to the room where Richard first appeared, he either won't be there or he will be there, but he will be incredibly weak. Okay, Richard is supposed to spawn up here. And as you can see, he is not here with us. Even though I didn't make him cry, what I did still works as if I made him cry. And as you can see, Richard is not here, and we saved our sword of obedience in doing so. So yeah, that is how you deal with all of the toughest ghosts in the game without using any silver bullets, and these methods do work for every other ghost in the game. I honestly believe there is a misconception about this game, being that it doesn't give you enough tools to deal with the ghosts. A lot of people hate the ghosts, but I personally believe them to be one of the best additions to this game. I love the methods this game presents to deal with them. I think the ghosts are a lot of fun, personally, and once you get used to them, they actually enhance the experience instead of deterring from the experience. Look! Look! He actually respawned! But of course he died as soon as he respawned, because that's how making ghosts cry works, so yeah. So thank you so much for watching, Dark Warriors.